Researchers at Yale University have just confirmed that long COVID may also be doublespeak for post-vaccination syndrome, marking the conspiracy theorists right once again. In a preprint study published on February 18th, researchers from Yale University set out to explore what they describe as a chronic debilitating condition after COVID-19 vaccination, often referred to as post-vaccine syndrome or PVS. They conducted a decentralized cross-sectional study involving 42 PVS participants and 22 healthy controls. Researchers found that compared with controls, PVS participants exhibited differences in immune profiles. Those differences included CD4 T cells, which are a type of white blood cell that plays a key role in coordinating the immune response. Specifically, the researchers found that those suffering post-vaccination syndrome had reduced type 1 T cells, which are responsible for fighting off viruses and some bacteria, and reduced type 2 T cells, which are involved in defending against parasites and helping to regulate things like allergic reactions. The researchers also found that PVS sufferers had an increase in CD8 T cells, which are another type of white blood cell, but they act more like a soldier that kills infected cells directly. These cells then produce a substance called TNF-alpha, which is a molecule involved in inflammation regulation that helps the body fight infections. But when it is overproduced, it can lead to inflammation and tissue damage. The fact that PVS sufferers had fewer CD4 T cells means that they had fewer important immune cells circulating in their blood, suggesting that their immune system is not functioning at full strength when responding to infections and pathogens. On the other hand, more TNF-alpha and CD8 T cells means that there is an increased risk of inflammation in the body, leading to immune system dysfunction and other health issues. All of this creates an imbalanced immune system and response. And to make matters even worse, researchers uncovered something even more concerning. Normally, the spike protein from the vaccine is detectable only for a few days, but in the participants with PVS, they still had measurable levels in their blood more than 700 days after their last vaccination. This persistent presence of the spike protein has been linked also to long COVID, raising more questions about its long-term effects and the many unknowns with these novel injections. This work is just beginning, and further studies are essential to guide diagnosis and treatment. One of the authors of the study is quoted as saying, "Some of the authors of this study have declared conflicts of interest with health-related companies, tech and healthcare ventures, and contracts with major organizations like the FDA and pharmaceutical giants like Pfizer." So naturally, they begin the entire study with the statement that COVID-19 vaccines have prevented millions of COVID-19 deaths. Notably, this claim is based on a pretend play simulation modeling scenario, not any hard, factual, or real-world data. While the CDC says that people with long COVID have a wide variety of symptoms that can be difficult to recognize or diagnose, like brain fog and chronic fatigue, those are the most commonly reported symptoms. But more than 200 distinct symptoms have also been identified. These symptoms affect various systems in the body, including respiratory, cardiovascular, neurological, and digestive systems, leading to a complex and wide-ranging condition that persists long after the initial infection or vaccination. The research by Yale University draws intriguing parallels between long COVID and post-COVID vaccination syndrome, raising questions about the shared mechanisms behind these chronic conditions and whether or not they are, in fact, two separate things. Both conditions feature chronic fatigue, brain fog, and other debilitating symptoms, suggesting that the post-viral response from either the virus itself or the vaccine may trigger similar immune dysfunctions. The study also revealed that some PVS sufferers had persistent levels of the spike protein in their blood from the vaccine, which has been linked also to long COVID, pointing to these potential overlaps, with also an important unknown being the number of long COVID sufferers who were also vaccinated. this data isn't clear or fulsome. The findings do suggest that post-vaccination issues and long COVID share underlying factors, making it difficult to differentiate between the two. For Rebel News, I'm Tamara Ugolini. Find out more about the mounting concerns with these novel injections at nomoreshots.ca. There you can also sign our petition demanding they be revoked from the market. That's nomoreshots.ca.